to Rock Talk Lapidary, your podcast for everything rocks.
Coming to you every Thursday 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time.
Be sure to like, subscribe, and tap that bell. Let's get rockin'.
Hi guys, welcome in. Welcome to Rock Talk Lapidary. Today, we have a very special guest I'm very excited to share with you. But first, let's see. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to Kersten Safford Art. If you're not a subscriber, it'd be awesome if you were. Thank you to everybody that is watching now and listening on Spotify. So we appreciate you. And so I just want to let you guys know I'm going to be taking a few weeks off. I do have some personal matters that I have to take care of right away, and it's not going to allow me the time to continue with the podcast as it is. I will be coming back. It's just I got to get a job and do some things like that. So once that's settled, then I'll be right back. And hopefully you guys will get a chance to see some of the things I have for sale, I think next week, instead of doing the podcast, which I will not put up on Spotify. I will be doing a live sale, and it's just for everybody that's a subscriber. And, my viewers here, our viewers. So if you are not already following The Love of Lapidary, that is where my co-hosts have gone. They knew that I wouldn't be able to continue producing the show at the level that we were at. And so they decided, rightfully so, to go ahead and start their own show. Last night's show was great. They talked about stabilizing different materials. And so if you haven't listened to that one or checked it out, please go do so, but not right now. Stay right here. So we're going to have fun for the next little while. Going to be introducing my friends onto the show. I have been waiting for this for a long time. So I asked, and I finally wore them down enough to come on. So I'm excited. So we've got Shaun Rasmussen and Krisann Morrill of SK Star Mines. They have some amazing minerals to share with you. And I'm going to go ahead and bring them on right now. And let's say hi. Welcome.
Hey, thanks, Kersten. You're so fun.
I try my best. So, I think we met probably about 10 years ago now. And I was thinking about that today because I was thinking about the timing of everything. So,
all about timing, right?
Right. So if you would just give us a little bit about what you do and we'll go from there.
Like right now, Krisann and I work at a place called Altus Fine Art, and we frame mostly religious art and a lot of custom. So we publish a bunch of different artists' works and help them get out there. Not something we own. It's a company we work for. Krisann, I think, has been doing it quite a lot longer than I have, but it's fun to work together at the same business, get off.
Oh, I bet.
And you kind of almost need two steady paychecks these days. Can't rely on crystals and rocks, really.
Yeah, I'm learning that. That's why I'm having to get a real job, a job. Darn.
I think everyone has to. It's almost common sense now. Things are too expensive.
Oh, definitely. So we got a bunch of people commenting in the comments, saying hi to everybody. So tell us a little bit about your operation that you have out in the desert.
It's just a mom and pop kind of fair weather casual prospecting. It's not really mining because we're first of all, we're not endorsed by any corporations. and we're not backed by any money. So it's kind of basically, a casual prospecting mining claim. That's why it's kind of a private one, and we don't do private digs, is because you got to fall into a different bracket of permits and insurance, bonding, stuff like that. So, we just try to get out there as much as possible, and which isn't nearly enough. And every once in a while, we get to invite, our friends and family along. So that's just kind of basically about it. It's I think 9 years for our first claim, SK Star #1. That had some really cool star cluster topaz that were included with titanium and aluminum silica sand and possibly volcanic ash and some feldspar. So when we were at this spot, going back and forth from our camp and to our dig spot, we ended up finding the black topaz, and we ended up staking a second claim, and we've basically just been on that ever since. So like the hillside and all that still just needs to be worked by a lot.
Okay. Okay. So you go out in the desert and you stumble across the star topaz. Tell me how that happened.
Well, we actually just kind of were actually in a different area, and we drove in to take a leak actually into this dead end canyon. And
That's true. It's crazy.
And we jump out and we're like sinking in up past our ankles in scorpion dens. And Krisann's like, let's get the hell out of here fast.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is where we're camping next weekend.
You were kidding, I hope. No kidding at all.
Not kidding at all. We were out there Labor Day weekend, and that's when we discovered those star clusters. Is Labor Day 2014.
Okay. Yeah. Wow.
And so we actually didn't stake the claim until 2015. And as newbies, not knowing anything about anything, we filed in June thinking we were good for the year, but you have to pay your fees in September by September 1st. Well, not knowing anything, we thought we'd paid our dues for the year. So September 1st rolls around and our claim goes up for grabs, basically.
Oh my gosh. I didn't know that could happen.
And so we had to refile, and which was something we just barely was learning how to do.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, we were able to refile with the new UMC number. And so we just started collecting these clusters, and it really was only just a couple weekends of digging. It was that Labor Day was the majority of the find.
Is that what these ones are? These first ones?
These ones are a little bit more like really, especially the bottom two. They're really smooth and opaque. A lot more orthoclase, feldspar included.
Oh, they're just incredible looking.
They're fun. They're really fun. I think we found maybe 600 maybe.
Oh.
And 600 to 700 pieces, and probably down to about 500 now.
Oh, wow. So do you guys ever go back to this one? I mean, are you still holding it?
It was a vent. It was like a little cave, and it's pretty much dried up.
It was a cave where
Okay.
two people could sit in and get out of the sun.
Oh.
And luckily these were like in the ceiling, so we just took a flathead screwdriver and poked into the ceiling, and it kind of just rain out. And
It rained topaz on you, huh?
It was crazy. Well, and it looked like there was probably like you could mine it more, but it's really unsafe because it's above you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it really is like a little cave. But then if you was to just like poke it,
yeah, there's a widow maker in there, so you have to be
scary.
smart about it. But once we started onto this black topaz, it was just like
It took up all of our mining time.
Like Jeremy and John, they invite us to go dig at their claims all the time, and we never can make time to go dig with them.
Because we drive out there, and then
it sucks.
once you're out there, you just mine your own area. So.
Yeah, I mean, that would make sense.
Working full time in that, so we're part time digging out there, so it's like we don't have much time to dedicate. So hopefully in the future we'll be more full time out there and can do some more exploring. So this is the analysis for those star clusters.
Right. Okay. Like I said, these are a little jumbly. I'm sorry if I show them out of order, but
no, that's all right. We'll just talk about them when they pop up. You can see the parts per million weight. What am I trying to say? Tungsten is at 20, niobium is at 72. So even those high rates, those are some of the same minerals that are included in the black topaz. So seeing some of the high rates of those included in these star clusters is pretty normal, and it's good to see, because we know that that area has those certain minerals. So
what is this test called? This is a X-ray.
That test was, I think, an XRF.
Okay. And do you remember? I think I remember someone was doing them for like $100 or something like that. Do you remember how much that cost you to have done back in 2014?
That one actually came from Neil Ray, so it didn't cost me a dime.
Nice.
Neil Ray worked with an oil company in Texas. Actually, it was they test water for oil companies, and so they had an XRF gun. They had an XRD machine. And then he was really good at crystallography too, so that kind of helped as well. But I know John Attard Minerals does them for $50.
Oh, okay.
So it's basically just Google Attard Minerals, and it'll pop right up. I can maybe even put a link in the comments later.
So say you're hiking around and you yourself find something like you think nobody else has seen before, and you want to claim it. Would you want to do one of those XR things beforehand, or try to put a claim first?
Every at-home test possible that rock hounders are supposed to do,
Right.
that I've never done. I'm too damn lazy. I'll just ask someone to do it for me, and then I'll have to send them a treat.
There you go. So Dagger and Rose Jewelry said, what does one of those look like, polished up, or have you tried the star topaz?
The star ones? Ooh, yeah. Good question. I don't think they'd look very good, but sandy topaz, they look pretty good polished up. I mean, kind of look like polished gravel. But
So that sandy topaz if you leave it in the sun, it will fade to a complete clear, correct?
yeah, the ones that have the terminations seem to have a little bit of color to them, and instead of them being like a champagne or a sherry color, these are kind of like almost like a peach orange, light peach orange, but they do fade clear.
Okay. So if we got black topaz, we should keep that out of the sun, or will it have no effect?
If you get a piece of black topaz that you can actually see like the champagne or sherry color in it,
Mm-hmm.
If you're concerned about it fading, I wouldn't leave it out. But I've actually purposely bleached a bunch out, and it kind of defines the inclusions a little bit more. You can kind of see, within them. And I think the clear and black are a lot sweeter, but that's just my opinion.
But the black part won't ever fade. So if it's heavily included, it stays black.
Yeah.
Yeah, these inclusions are just, metal oxides that most of them being like military grade minerals. Yeah, they just won't fade out.
Nice.
In fact, I think some of the main two, the tungsten and the magnetite, I think their melting point's somewhere around 8,000 degrees. So take a hot fire.
A little hot. Well, I'm going to show some photos that you sent. These are landscape photos of the area. They're if you wouldn't mind sharing info about it.
There's my fishbone t-shirt we got this summer at a concert.
I'm guessing that's a band then, Fishbone.
Yeah, I think they're kind of more old school, early 90s.
This is the area that we're mining right now.
Yep, this is the what we call the upper east part of this fractured out fault zone we've been following.
Okay.
This part's always been an eyesore for me. Just overburdened, hard rock after a rainstorm, everything's cemented back up. Just horrible diggings. And Krisann just loves this spot. She just had some inkling about it, and she just wanted to just keep digging into it. And so finally we're to the point where we've been digging into it, and we found some awesome stuff in May.
Oh, sweet.
Where I'm standing, all that loose dirt, we'd run through a sifter and screen it all out, and just basically pick all the crystals out of the classifiers.
So it's very meticulous work. It's not something where you can just go in with hammers. You got to be careful about what you're doing.
Yeah, you can see me using a Hilti T90 right there, and that's pretty much just to bust up kind of the big boulders that are in our way.
Okay. And
just make them light enough to be able to move them, roll them down the hill a little bit.
Did you see that, Brad?
No.
It says that's because you're old, Shaun. LOL.
Hey, Brad, we need to put a camera right just above right where I'm standing. So hopefully you're still working on those 2 cameras. Brad actually built 3 cameras for us already. We've had down to the claims for a couple of years now, and they work really well. We've still had people smash the cameras inside these steel boxes, but it doesn't happen as often, and that not as many cameras being stolen off the property either. So thanks, Brad.
Good job, Brad. You're a good man. All right. So what is this then?
So what we're looking at is the fractured fault zone that I've been referring to. On the left and the right is basically two mountains of rhyolite, and it fractured and split apart and kind of infilled with dirt and clay, and then rhyolite actually sealed it off. What you're seeing is a bunch of broken up rock that I've thrown back right there and filled it back in. Sometimes I have use our overburden to basically lock stuff back up as we go. So yeah, what you're seeing below is all the pay dirt and loose material, and then all that broken up rhyolite is just wedged right there in that fracture. I'm thinking from the tallest point from where I'm standing, it's probably over 20 feet deep.
Down. Holy cow.
Side. Yeah.
And you dug all that yourself, 20 feet down.
Mm-hmm.
Just you and Krisann. I love that.
This is our view from underneath the easy upright at camp, looking to the south. Mostly what you see is SK star number 1. Basically, SK star number 1 is that ridge line and down 400 or 500 feet. And then number 2 starts.
So they're actually pretty close together. You don't have to travel too far to get to either one.
No, they parallel each other, and
nice.
They're 600 feet wide by 1,500 feet long. So it's a good amount of territory. I think that's 40 acres we're close to.
Is that about average size for a mine in Utah?
20 acres? Yeah.
Okay. Nice. I like the American flag up there. Very cool.
That was Krisann's touch. I put it up there, but Krisann thought of it.
Love it. I love. So, have the birds kind of gone in and made all these little holes in the rhyolite, or is that something that you guys did?
That is all done by nature.
Okay.
Those are what they call vugs or pockets.
Okay.
A lot of it is probably just gases that made those round marks. This picture was I don't even actually remember what was this Mother's Day or close to. This might have been in May.
It looks cold.
Quite a few years ago. This is looking to the west.
Okay.
So
just sit next to them.
Nice. I bet it's so peaceful, and you could see billions of stars.
Yeah, billions of stars, billions of bats.
Oh, I love bats.
And then often owls and red-tailed hawks.
Oh, wow.
So this was kind of looking down from that last picture where I was pointing up with the screwdriver in my hand. I was standing down there.
Okay.
I'm standing right now on top of a brim. We had tunneled in, and we were starting to get we were getting deep inside the mountain, and it was just starting to get pretty hazardous as far as the overburden and the brim falling off and landing on us there. So,
and you're in such a small confined area too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that's why Krisann wants to dig down the overburden in that top end, and then we'll connect to where we left off here down in the bottom of the fault zone.
So on your mine, can you use any heavy equipment, or is it just limited to hand tools, or what's
Yes,
the
limited.
regulations on that?
Yeah, good question. There's a lot of gray area as far as all that goes.
Nice.
It's supposed to be hand tools.
Hand tools only.
Okay.
But that's what we use. You have to get special permits and stuff to upgrade it. To be able to use.
Yeah, Vince really wants to bring in the heavy equipment and just tear this shit out of place, but
Oh, Vince. Rah. That's funny. Oh goodness.
So the higher part on this picture here is more solid than the right side and the lower part of that fractured out zone. So it's kind of all just decomposed rhyolite, broken up, really fractured. But you can tell that zone has kind of just got a good trend heading east and west.
So would you say that anytime that you see an outcrop of rhyolite, would you pull over and go poke around, or
at least go see what's on the surface? If there's surface crystals, there's more.
Nice. Okay. Because we got there's a lot of rhyolite in Utah, all over. So interesting.
And I don't know if the topaz only forms in like certain types of rhyolite. Seems like that Thomas Mountain range has all the, topaz and other minerals in it. This one was a really fun one to collect.
It's straight out of the ground.
Straight out of the ground. I should have left it all dirty like that too.
Oh, it's so big.
That one's about 2.5 inches, I think.
Nice.
They shrink when you get them home.
Okay, so we are going to go into the black topaz now, the black topaz photos. Can you talk about and explain a little bit about what this is?
Sure. This is an analysis that was taken from an EMP analysis, electron microprobe. This was the analysis that we sent a thin section off to the University of Oregon, and they compiled all the data and then sent it back to Neil, and he put it in this chart. Basically, we're just looking at parts per million as far as like trace element goes. Bulk chemical composition is on the left side there. Kind of what I do is I just always look through, and whichever ones have the highest numbers are usually more relevant.
Okay.
For instance, my eyeballs are playing tricks on me.
Well, tungsten says 144.
Yeah, tungsten's pretty much probably one of the highest ones there in that list, and then probably niobium second, and then the Fe iron dumbed down to magnetite, which still is, the magnetite part is still kind of unconfirmed. GIA might have thought it could have been something similar but different. You'll see that yttrium was pretty high in that. Lots of rare earths and even a bit of gold.
Wow, that's so cool.
So this crystal here is, I think I nicknamed it the bouquet or the fan. It's actually in Luke Osborn's collection now in Tennessee.
Oh.
So
Okay.
I don't think I'll ever have the heart to ask for it back. So Luke, if you're watching, you knew that crystal would always be yours anyway. So no shocker to that one.
So then this is this right here. Can you talk about this a little bit?
Sure.
As far as
yeah, that's a fancy magazine.
it sure is.
The mineralogical record is a pretty swanky magazine. Our friend Alice Sikorsky thought we needed to do an article in this, and so she helped us put it all together and submitted it. And it didn't take too long to be November, December issue. The funny thing about this picture right here is I was asking Krisann to get me a picture, and she was taking so long. So I was like kind of crying, and I was like putting the magazine down. I was like, come on. And I have that somewhere. Maybe I'll one day.
Of him throwing a fit.
Of me throwing a fit.
So Luke is watching with us tonight. Luke.
You're not giving it that. He doesn't need to give it
Luke's
that.
funny.
He says he loves this photo.
How could you not?
It's a great one. I love it. I love the silliness. Okay. Wow.
So this picture was a GIA. Kevin's. I don't know if he still is with GIA, but he was part of the GIA team when Dr. Shigley helped us get this article going. So I took me and Krisann. We were kind of at a dead end, if you will. And so I reached out to GIA. I asked them if they could help us figure out these crystals. And they said, well, if you show up at a seminar and talk with Dr. Shigley, he might be willing to. I'm like, all right. And so this seminar happened to be at BYU University. And there was one for the students and one for the public to sit in on. And we got him some samples, and he emailed us back within a week or something, and was able to get this into their quarterly journal, summer edition 2019. These are thin section micro photographs. I had some thin sections made at Wagner Petrographics in Linden, Utah, and donated those to GIA, and they used those to look at the inclusions.
Wow. So this is some of the inclusions inside the topaz. I had to be told that, so I thought I'd tell everybody else.
Thank you. Thank you. We all appreciate it.
I need Shaun to dumb things down for me constantly. I'm like, what?
This was one of the clusters. I think I gave them this one, that twin, and a faceted gemstone the first time around. And when they took a picture of this, they sent it to me and said I could use it any way I wanted. So we've been kind of just using it as a logo and just kind of our marketing main picture for the last long while.
Yeah, it's a great photo. I love it.
Yeah, in fact, every one of those terminations are called pinacoidal terminations. They're actually flat basal terminations. They're not cleaved or fractured off, like you might think. You'll have these natural faceted edges. Nice. That That one's a fatty. This one
It makes me giggle.
this was like
It's a
within
boy.
maybe our 10th topaz we found.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
and it was just inches below the surface.
it got you guys going, huh? Got you excited? That would have got me excited too. Heck yeah.
And then the clusters. These clusters are few and far between the single terms and even the double terms, but it's basically just a crystal plate of micro crystals.
Okay. So they're pretty rare though to find in that shape. Like just like a mass.
Yeah, that mass of them.
Luckily, we came out with some dirt clods. We were able to just water down and wash the dirt clod down.
Yeah.
Down.
And that was there. They were there.
And those nice clusters are usually in those dirt clods.
Okay.
Now, this one was a fatty one. I almost lost that one. Short story. I ended up gifting it to my aunt, and she wrapped it with some silver and put it on Etsy for sale for like $50. And I was like, shit, no. So I had to buy it back for $50. It's totally worth it.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. It's funny how minerals return. Okay.
Because I set myself up. Though, I set myself up. I'm like, and you can have any crystal in this case. And I knew what was in the case, but earlier that day I was showing some people some crystals, and I happened to put one of that giant one in the case. So when I opened up the case and said, take your pick, she's seen that one in there. I was like, oh shit, how'd I get in there?
Oopsies.
Can't go back on my word. So she ended up with it. This is probably one of my favorites. It's got some secondary mineral growth on there. That UV chalcedony and other weird stuff that we're trying to figure out.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just, it seems like it was a huge giant XL crystal, and then it had another really large crystal intersecting it.
Mm-hmm. Like a cross.
Horizontally, and then it has a cluster on that left side, and it's just kind of the ugly duckling. Pear skis, those ones are nice.
Oh, so it intersects right through the middle. That is interesting. Wow.
Then this one's just got the mineral oxide coating on the outside. I think I've looked at this with a loop, and it actually has the coating intersecting or embedded within the crystal. So it's almost actually basically bubbling out of it.
Wow.
Probably pressure pushed it out, maybe, quite possibly. Just a bunch of crystals on a light pad there.
I like how, well, it kind of reminds me of a cemetery. I like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I always think in October, it's like Black Topaz month. It just.
Yeah.
It's hard not to think that. I like to always try to pick out the cross looking or the tombstone looking topaz this time of month. And this one's a pretty good one here. This one actually had, it must have had a intersecting crystal that touched it, because right where you can see that I've attached it with
it's like a notch.
It looks like it's kind of got a notch there, and basically there's just a growth, intersecting growths right there that was touching it. Just a crystal cluster on a little bit larger of a crystal.
It's crazy though. Like it all just stuck to it or drawn to it.
Looks like there's a hair on there.
Oh, don't you love that? Especially when you're trying to get real close and it looks great, and then you're like, ah, a hair.
Millions of dust bunnies flying around, and
Okay, so we did have a question earlier about how can anybody reach out to purchase from you guys?
Facebook is the quickest route, unless you have my phone number, and then you can just shoot me a text message. I usually don't answer phone calls, but my new business card does have my phone number, so you can text me. But Facebook or Instagram, message me, and then I like to just get a budget number to work with and go shop and pick some stuff out, and then let the person actually kind of choose what they want. But like,
Did you see what Brad said?
mm-mm.
Monica's addicted to Black Topaz.
It happens. There's a lot of people.
Yeah, I'm one of them.
The group's getting bigger.
So can you tell us about these bags that you guys have in your shop?
Yeah, they're basically our kaolins, our mine kaolins, and we bring them home, and then I take extra crystals and kind of systematically pepper up the bags to make them more enjoyable.
Nice. I love that. When I was down and on bed rest and I couldn't move around, it was really therapeutic for me. So I put it in a tub and then I would just go through it with a little fork and, just entertain myself and dig and redig and then refill. And, it's crazy. I didn't realize this, but I have about a little baggie of tumbled black topaz. How hard was that to do?
Easy.
Oh,
Just
okay.
easy if you know how to tumble. I fall down all the time, but we just ran it through a normal tumbler for 4 different stages, so it took a month plus a few days extra. But we just threw in basically whatever's and tumbled it, and they actually turned out really nice to where we started kind of incorporating it into jewelry. And
Yeah. What kind of jewelry?
mostly just cheap, affordable rings. And this year we've done some stud earrings with them.
I was gonna wear mine tonight, but I got these headphones, so I wouldn't have shown anyways. That's funny. So these can be faceted. I have a really nice facet right here. What mostly do people do with the faceted one? What have you seen?
I don't see a whole lot of other works from people with these crystals, unfortunately, but in the future we're probably going to see a lot of stuff like pendants, a lot of different types of pendants, and men's and women's rings. That one you showed was kind of a long emerald bar cut. So that one would probably be more suited for a pendant.
Okay. Do you do gold with it, or is it mostly silver?
I just do silver. I'm really new still at the silversmithing game. So I'm just still learning pretty much. I don't have very many hours into it, so my confidence level isn't where it needs to be to work with gold. But I've actually had a friend of mine make a ring and use like 14 karat accent gold and sterling silver, which turned out really wicked. Vince had a gold ring made. Vince, he can afford the gold, so.
Leave it to Vince. Yeah. Is that his pinky ring?
Probably.
He's not here. It's okay.
I missed it. Yeah, he's not missing much. He's in vacation right now. So.
Yeah, no, I've seen the pictures. It's incredible. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to answer. The bearded Chad said, "How durable are they?" They're pretty durable. Topaz is like 7.5, 8-ish, close to on the hardest scale. So they're a durable stone. They do have a tendency to cleave perfectly. So there's always that risk involved, but Krisann wears a tumbled stone ring daily, and those ones are super durable.
Yeah.
So if you had a 4-prong ring or something, you'd kind of want to be careful with it. I chipped a stone fishing on one of my rings. So it just, and if you were to buy something from me, the best thing is to let me know if anything happens, if it breaks. Don't be afraid to ever reach out. If you drop your moon pendant and your crystal breaks in half, we'll get it fixed. We'll get it replaced. It's easy to swap out the crystal.
So between the two of you, who's the one that's doing the jewelry work? Is it Krisann or you?
Krisann started it. She's the one that started watching videos and how to do,
I learned, and then I showed Shaun, and then he pushed me out.
Oh, classic.
I stole her bench.
But I'm like you, and I always have 50,000 projects at a time. Now I want to do that. So
yeah, you're a squirrel. I love it.
Yeah, and so he just stuck with it, and I'm doing something else now.
I love that. So there is one other mineral that I did not get the photos uploaded. I apologize. But it's the fluorite. Can you talk about this a little bit?
Yeah. So when we first started finding this stuff, and this was only included with, or not included with, but we only found it in that fractured fault zone where the black topaz is at. It's basically
sorry, it's not working.
It's basically a garbage can of minerals. We first started calling it clinoptolite. Or actually, before that, it was pickle light. Pickle light. And that's just what me and Krisann call it now. It's pickle light. It's not really that.
Not right.
It's not right at all. And so this guy told me it could be clinoptolite, and I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right, but it has a fluorite in it, chalcedony, halite, gypsum, selenite, and
Who tested it?
And it's only been tested XRF, and that came up as quartz and fluorite, so that wasn't any help at all. So now I think we're just going to try to get it registered. I think you have to call or email. I don't even know. I got to do some research to find out. Probably mineralogical Society of America, MSA. Those guys is an institute.
Okay.
So probably reach out to them and maybe try to register it. And maybe call it Krisannite.
I love it. Krisannite. Perfect. That's perfect.
That's funny.
Don't you think?
Yeah, it's a big garbage can full of stuff.
Oh, okay. I just thought it was an
She's
honor.
horrible.
But oh boy, you put it in those terms, man. That changes things. So, are oh my God, are any of these ones still available? Because I think I had one or two, but now I don't. I might want to get some more.
I remember when we first met you. We did gift you maybe 2 or 3 of these, and they were kind of little small ones. But yes, we're actually. I was actually going to wait and start really pushing these on their 10-year anniversary. So what's crazy
nice
is next year in September is 10 years for SK Star #1, and that discovery, which is crazy. So we were actually going to bring them out of the closet and start selling them off.
Nice. That's awesome. Yeah. I had everybody pick a number 1 through 20. I like to do a giveaway every episode, and I'm going to give away some Black Topaz, but I need you guys to pick the number. Hopefully nobody doubled over on numbers. Let's see. Looks good. So, Krisann, will you pick a number 1 through 20?
13.
That's
13.
obvious.
Oh, looks like Big Game Man got it. All right. So thankfully, that's nice.
Who did you say won?
Big Game Man.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, that's funny.
Even though
Okay,
I
so
and watching wins.
we'll have that for you when you pick up your peaches for me. So that'd be great. I went out to yesterday in the rain, and I completely cleared out my garden. I pulled all the tomato plants and peppers, all that fun stuff. And then I had to pick peaches. And one tree was just loaded, and the other I actually thinned out. So we have a few ripe ones and a bunch of rock hard ones. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
It was a weird year. A bumper crop, kind of.
Yeah, you guys, doesn't your dad have, it's your dad, right?
Yeah, my dad's got a peach orchards. Krisann's parents have a peach tree that's actually half peach, half nectarine.
Really?
Tree, yeah.
It was grafted.
Okay. So like a peach arm was grafted into a nectarine tree, or vice versa.
It's like legit half and half.
Yeah,
it's so weird.
Yeah, it just bees off, and so.
Oh, I'd love to see that.
The peaches actually taste like nectarines, and the nectarines actually taste like peaches.
But they blossom at different times. They ripen at different times. They're definitely different. So.
Oh wow, that's so bizarre. I love it. I love science. Like, I think my grandpa, he grafted a pear tree into an apple tree and did a few other cool things like that. And it's like, gosh, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
Okay, so everybody has contact information for you. If you want to get a hold of Shaun to get some Black Topaz, or to get one of these awesome dig bags, I highly recommend these. They're fun. They keep me entertained. So
yeah, they're not just for kids.
Great for kids. Yeah, absolutely.
Great for adults.
I sent Rebellious Chaos with some for her kids. I hope that they had fun and didn't put sand everywhere. Or maybe it's like the I like to send my sister's kids, obnoxious toys. So same kind of deal. Here, kids, go have fun, make a mess. Oh, so we do have a lot of really cool comments about how they enjoyed your talk tonight, and Luke says he loves nectarines.
He's got a wide palate.
Nice. You're saying he has a big mouth?
No.
Like a lot of stuff.
He's a food guru, so he's a foodie.
A foodie. I think I am too, because I don't think you can get as big as I am without being one.
He's a foodie too.
All right. Well, I would love to let you guys have some last comments to share before we go off the air. So go ahead.
Oh yeah, thanks.
Down the spot.
Yeah, well, thank you for having us on your podcast. This is, the first time we've ever done a podcast, so it's only
what an honor for me.
Honored. We're honored and rightfully fitting that it would be on your show. So we got to stick to your roots.
Thank you.
I think
Thank you.
You bet. I think we have one show in December at in West Jordan at the library.
Okay.
It's the LCK show, Rock Hounders Outreach for Community Knowledge.
They're a good group. I like them.
Yeah. And we've got a big show in February, but I'm not going to announce it yet. It's not a club show. It's a new show. It's some of the promoters from the Denver and Tucson. Tucson.
Really into himself.
Tucson. So they're bringing kind of that international circuit to Utah 2024. So we've already got our booth, and it's expensive, so hopefully it should be a good turnout. We'll have the most topaz on display that we have ever shown.
Wow.
A lot of new stuff, and probably a lot of personal stuff going on the market too. So
very cool. All right. So have an awesome night. I'm going to go ahead and pull you off. Okay. I know that Krisann has a show to go watch. Oh, I cut you off. I'm so sorry. You guys can hang out for a second. Just want to say thank you to everybody that watches the show. I will be back, and that's a promise. It's just going to take me a couple weeks to figure some stuff out. And until then, I will be doing a live sale next Thursday just to kind of hopefully boost some of what's going on at my house. So love you guys. Keep on rocking. Have a super awesome weekend. It's coming up, and stay tuned because I have some cool stuff that is going to come down the line here. So thank you guys. Thank you. And have a great night.
Great show, guys. Let's go. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. See you next Thursday at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time.